Money. What's up, geeks and gamers? How y'all doing today? It's your boy Q
and QMG.
and this is Into the Quniverse, where we talk about everything geeky, gamey, and nerdy. And you already know we got to turn up. Another great Sunday. How you doing, QMG? You doing all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got a great episode for you geeks and gamers today. We're going to be talking about some E3, some of Loki. We got a great show. A lot of games we talked about. Bethesda had a lot going on. Loki was very interesting to me. We'll see what Q&G got to say. But you already know we got to turn up a little bit. How y'all doing today? What's up? QMG, how you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah.
Great Sunday. But yeah, so we go ahead and hop right into it. We've got a great episode. We're gonna go ahead and hop right into it. We got Loki, who came out Wednesday, and might I say it was very interesting. I was very interested with how Loki went. I've been very vocal on Keep It G and Into the Quniverse, my two podcasts, and to say the least, I wasn't excited about Loki, but after watching the episode, whether it was action-packed or not, I really thought it was very interesting. And since it's the first episode, really not a lot major happened. We could actually talk about this episode. QMG, I definitely want to know what your thoughts were on Loki, because you've been very vocal about not being.
You can go first.
Okay. Well, for everybody who knows, Loki is the first Avengers villain from the MCU, the first major MCU villain of the Avengers. But over time, he has become actually a hero. But spoiler alert for everybody who hasn't seen Endgame, Loki died in Endgame, but the Avengers went back in time and they found the Loki. They dropped the Tesseract, going back in time to try to retrieve it, and the Loki from 2012 Avengers movie picked it up and went back to, we didn't know at the time where he went to, but he disappeared using the Tesseract, which is the Space Stone, I believe, Tesseract is the Space Stone, so it allows you to traverse time and space. So Loki, well, it's just space. Loki used it to go to, what was it, like the Himalaya mountains or something like that. He went to some far off place, but then the TVA, the Time Variant Association, picked him up, and he was taken to the Time Variant Association, and then that's where all of the Loki things ensue, where he learns about everything that has happened up to Endgame, and he learns about how his mother died and stuff like that. But to get into how I feel about Loki, for everybody, all the geeks and gamers out there, Aaron, appreciate you for tuning in, broski.
What's up?
Thank you for tuning in. Got my boy Aaron from Old Diversity in the building. Appreciate it. But yeah, so a lot of people were divided, because if you know Loki, a lot of people love Tom Hiddleston's take on Loki, but a lot of people who aren't really big comic fans or are big comic fans really don't just like Loki or how he was portrayed 100% in the MCU. And needless to say, I can understand exactly why people would be kind of thrown off of Loki having his own show. But the stuff that they're setting up is very interesting to say the least. For a lot of people who don't know, that Loki is really, everybody thought that WandaVision was setting up this multiverse banger. Everybody had their theories about the multiverse and everything that was going on. But it seems like Loki is setting all that up. To be honest, it seems like Loki is really bringing all that stuff into fruition, and it seems really cool. I'm actually very intrigued about what they're doing with Loki now. Owen Wilson, he did his thing. Is definitely a lot of Easter eggs sprinkled throughout throughout the show. The TVA obviously has some secrets that they don't want to allow to go through. They have secret levels that we haven't seen yet, that you have denied access to, which you would think with the TVA, there shouldn't be any secrets because they don't answer to anyone. But as we see, there are secrets, but it seems pretty cool. QMG, so how do you feel about Loki, broski? Let me know something.
The way I feel about Loki is it was alright. It didn't really blow my mind too much. So it was alright. I was really not too much enthused about it leading up to it, as I've exclaimed on the show before. And also I was very much not like Not really feeling too much about it personally. Because I'm not a Loki person. I'm not someone who just jones at the opportunity to talk or watch something with Loki in it.
Yeah.
So, that's how that went. But after sitting there and watching it and everything, I felt it was a little slow. It could have been the pace could have been picked up a little bit better than it was. I felt like it also could have been, just a wee little boot. No, I do feel like it could have been a little bit not actiony, but a little bit. Well, I guess that's a little microcosm when I first said a little bit faster. Like that's my biggest problem was that it wasn't fast. It just felt like it was meandering.
Yeah.
So not saying I wanted everything revealed because I didn't, but I felt like it could have done a better job of trying to structure itself a little bit better with with some, not its mysteries, but some of the dialogue and some of the finer points of detail.
Definitely.
That's kind of my biggest issue. And I do feel like it could have been I feel like it could have been faster, could have been implemented better. Definitely could have used a little bit more action. I'm sorry. I'm never a fan.
What about WandaVision? Y'all let WandaVision slide.
Well, yeah, because that was supposed to be a mystery at the beginning. I understood that. With Loki, it wasn't really nothing, like it was just Loki.
So Loki had you like,
yes, actually, very much so. It had me like that, and it's like it's nice that they're using Loki as a damn, that went long. It's nice that they had that be the vehicle for the multiverse and stuff like that, or whatever, or timelines, which they're obviously going to. Oh, there's a little popcorn in my tooth level. I'm sorry, y'all. Having something a little bit left over for that, to lead into that and everything. But all in all, it didn't do too much for me. It's not a bad show. Hopefully the next start picking up. I like the fact that they showed his future, like he saw his future and everything, and what his fate was and his highlights and his lowlights.
And that was, to be honest, that was my biggest question if they were going to answer that. I was so and I've said this multiple times on Keep It G and Into the Quniverse, that they took away Loki's all of his character development with the Tesseract. I was like, so this is the Loki y'all gonna bring back, a Loki who hasn't learned from his mistakes? And for them to go into that and really make sure that they showed that at least he's getting back to 70% of that, 70 to 60% of that, I really was happy about that, because that 100%. And they also showed, and they broke Loki down to say that he really doesn't like hurting people. It was just, he felt like he needed to do that to cause fear, to show he had some sort of power, so he's not inadvertently evil. I really enjoyed that, and I'm glad they did that, because that was one of my main problems with Loki. I was like, so we just gonna get this? I thought they were going with a super heavy-handed, mischievous Loki, like they were just retconning all the stuff he went through to make shits and giggle laughs by being Loki who just does bogus stuff. So I'm glad that they broke him back down and they're raising him back up by letting him see how his life was going to transpire if he had lived through the timeline of Endgame. So I was really happy about that. That was probably the best thing that I took away from it. And I thought the dialogue and setting him up and breaking him down was needed. You know what I'm saying? I thought they needed to do that with this first episode, because if they sprinkled it through episodes, I don't think it would have had as big of an impact as if them started on this full first episode. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think they should have started it. I'm glad they started it off breaking them down, like breaking down this house and building it back up with stuff that we already know. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Mikhail said that's a dope show.
Oh, appreciate it. But yeah, so definitely, you already know we got to keep the 90s living, keep the 90s alive, man. Early 2090s alive, bro. Got to. But no, but I definitely think Loki is very strong with the foundation that it's building with the TVA. Obviously, did you notice the Kang timekeeper looking guy, the one right behind Sin, Renslayer?
Well, yeah, that's because of
her relationship with Kang in the comic books, yeah. But so they are setting up things, and like I said, a lot of these theories that we had. Oh, first I want to disclaim, because I thought this. If y'all think that devil in the stained glass is Mephisto, it ain't. It's Loki, but just the multiverse. We thought that Wanda was gonna break the multiverse with the Vision and the Hex, but it's seeming like Loki is gonna do it. And I think that's actually more enjoyable. Like out of Loki's character, of course he's the one who breaks the multiverse. Like of course he's the one that makes all the bull crap because he is the god of mischief. So what do you think on not just on how the show presented, but some of the ideas that Loki is trying to present and they're trying to go to with the multiverse and stuff like that?
I think that if that's where they're gonna
that's facts, Aaron.
if that's where they're gonna go, I think that it's interesting for sure that's what they're gonna do. It's for sure interesting. But do I think that that's what it is? Do I think that's where if that's going to be, because they've been very adamant that it's Wanda, and I don't see Feige reneging on that point because of how much of significance it is. I mean, but I will say this. The writer for Multiverse of Madness is writing Loki. So
yeah, exactly. And he said there might be some sprinkles in there.
I mean, but they've already done that in the first episode. They sprinkled it in because of the simple fact
the Nexus.
Right, the Nexus and everything. What up, D-Man? What up?
D-Man, appreciate you tuning in, broski.
Yeah, but as far as that goes, I think that I do think there might be a little bit more to it. Yeah. But it's all really touch and go. Like we all pointed out, WandaVision and to an extent Falcon and Winter Soldier told me to stop. Yeah, well, I stopped with WandaVision.
Did you have any major theories for Falcon and Winter Soldier?
No, because I stopped with WandaVision. But the major thing that people need to hold on to is just to not really have any other, like to stop thinking that it's going to go one way when it's not. Just keep it on level. And temper your expectations is basically all I can say.
I can understand that. Even I don't know if they wanted you to get this from that, but I kind of even felt that with the Infinity Stones being paperweight.
No,
I know it's just showing the power of the TVA and that everything that came before it is kind of inadvertent now. This what you think is going on is don't even matter.
That and it's a more overt reference in and of itself because one of the key lore of Marvel stuff is that Infinity Stones, gems, whatever you call them, they don't work outside of their native universe. If you try to go to a different universe with an Infinity Gauntlet, you'll end up getting clapped because they won't work because they're tied to the nature of their specific universes. So that's why they were inert in the TVA, because the TVA exists outside of space time. So they wouldn't have, the stones would literally have no use. They would have no power source. So that's why the Tesseract didn't work.
So
and all that.
So if that's the case, when they went back into the future, when they went back in time, doesn't that count as taking the stones into another universe?
Well,
and when they used it with Tony Stark's gauntlet, how did that work?
Well, you got to remember you got to remember the parameters, the BS parameters, which still don't make too much damn sense. But you got to remember it because what they said was what they said was that the timeline hadn't really changed yet. They haven't really changed them. They hadn't really changed the individual timelines yet. If they didn't return the stones in the proper amount of time when the events happened that they needed it, then it would have branched off. And then I'm assuming that we can assume that the gems would have become, the stones would have become inert. But because they were still operating more or less, I believe, I would assume the same time frame because it was like only a second they were gone, and then probably we can assume that it took them a couple of hours to configure a new gauntlet and everything like that. And then the whole battle sequence was probably an extra hour. Was like an extra hour in MCU time. It wasn't like, oh, they can't do anything with them. It's just simple. It's still technically the same universe. And plus, the TVA even said that the Avengers going back in time, because Doctor Strange predicted it, that was supposed to happen. So the universe recognized
that it was the right timeline, so they didn't become inert until Loki did something.
Right, because at that point, that's it's deviating, which is why they were able to, which also answers a question of mine, which was why they were able to go back even further to get the Tesseract, because at that point, like, wouldn't that mean that they would be going, like, it would probably, like, the past would change a little bit, or
Yeah,
Or-
so
or
they went
rather-
back. They went back farther before the timeline made the Infinity Stone inert.
Right, because like, and I'm just
Because
thinking,
if they would have found Loki and got that Tesseract, it still would have been inert because they changed.
yeah, because it would be, because technically it would be that past would be different to that present, because you know.
But you go back further, so it's still in the same.
Yeah, because this is why the in-game time travel stuff doesn't work. Because if you remember, they got 2 stones from 2012. They got Time Stone, and then they tried to get the Space Stone. They got the Time Stone, which means it was going to be a different timeline. But then when they failed to get the
Space Stone, it branched off.
It would have technically created another, like, considering the parameters of them going back even further, then that would be another timeline from that timeline.
Just a quick overview for the geeks and gamers out there. If y'all had one of the Infinity Gems / Infinity Stones, which one would it be? QMG, before you get back to your point, which one would you have?
Well, there's literally only one.
Reality.
No, because there's only one you can actually withhold with no negative repercussions, and that is the Space Stone. Every other stone you can't physically touch without facing some sort of consequences.
Well, Dr. Strange holds the Eye of Agamotto.
You can't physically. If you watch Doctor Strange and you paid attention to Infinity War, he's never physically holding.
Well, I'm saying with the Rama, without like, if you have the Eye of Agamotto, you can hold it with the chalice. I'm saying if you had to choose one that wouldn't burn you up, like but
you have to. No, it's the Space Stone, because you can't do the Power Stone, because you literally have to be a powerful being to hold on to it, and that's like, and if I'm already that powerful personally, I wouldn't eat the Power Stone. The Reality Stone, again, if you pay, like with flipping Thor: The Dark World, even though I know people forget that movie, and
Malekith, the Dark Elf,
when Jane had the Reality Stone, it was negatively affecting her. It was eating her insides.
Do you think is something that's gonna go into Thor: Love and Thunder? Why she's sick from that exposure to that?
I mean, it could, but it wouldn't make no sense, because that was damn near 10 years ago at this stage, in both MCU canon and in our canon, that it was like 10. It'll be going on 10 years. Yeah. Love and Thunder comes out in 2022, so it'd be essentially it'd be 10 years, because Thor: The Dark World takes place about a couple of weeks after the first Avengers,
and the Endgame is in 2025.
Yeah, so within the context of the MCU, it would be closer to 15, and in ours, it would be like a 9 to 9 years basically. So yeah, it would be weird, and plus, in Age of Ultron, he was saying like it was like Jane's still doing cool sciencey things and shit like that. So
yeah,
it's like it like, not to say cancer can't, like, because we, like, as people who've experienced family members with cancer, we know it's it can slip under the radar and whatnot. But one, it's Taika Waititi, and he doesn't do drama well, so I know.
You hard on Jojo Rabbit?
I don't care. But no, he's not a director that's good at the dramatics. He's very bad at it. And
Jojo Rabbit, I know a lot of people who beg to differ. They say Jojo Rabbit has some dramatic scenes.
I mean, if you thought, just some milquetoast stuff that's you can find in a dime a dozen of World War II. I mean, it ain't hard. I mean, it ain't hard to get drama from World War II, Nazi Germany. I mean, that ain't hard. It is
hard when you're having a lightly hearted comedic movie.
Dude, no, it's not. It's really not, because you can.
Okay, I'll give you that.
But the larger points withstanding is that, one, Love and Thunder doesn't even look like they're going to even. If you've seen any set photos,
nothing dramatic. It don't even straight fun,
and it don't even look like Natalie Portman is even, like, she's walking around with her Natalie Portman face and hair and everything. But
do you see how ripped they are, though?
I mean, yeah, but who cares?
I do. Them folks are ripped. I'm getting ripped to the like Thor locked in like this, and then Natalie Portman locked in like that.
Yes, I'm so surprised. Chris Hemsworth, of all
he's
actors,
bigger than he's ever been, though.
I'm so surprised that Chris Hemsworth, of all actors.
What about Natalie Portman, though?
Natalie Portman
she always been skinny. Go back to Star Wars, the trilogy.
You mean 10 years ago?
Yeah, but she ain't never been. Look at Black Swan. She ain't never been.
You mean the movie where she was a ballerina, when that doesn't require upper body
I'm
strength?
saying, name a movie where she's been swole.
My point is that it's not unbelievable to me that Natalie Portman. What you mean, how? Natalie Portman,
she wasn't even swole in Thor.
Okay, because she wasn't an action hero in Thor. My point is that it's not unfeasible. It's not unfeasible that Natalie Portman of her height and natural weight can get some.
I'm not saying it's unbelievable. I'm just saying she ripped.
I mean,
you a hater, bro.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, when you're playing when you're going to be playing the Thor, I mean, I would suspect she would have to. I mean,
I'm saying she actually doesn't have to.
What you mean?
She could have been Thor without being ripped.
I mean, you do realize her costume is literally her who has her bare arms out, and it'd be very like they get away with it because Brie Larson doesn't have to get super ripped because she's in a full bodysuit. But with that type of costume, you have to bulk up at least in the arm department because you got to show off how you look.
Well, she did. She bulked up. Shout out Natalie Portman. She lit. But yeah, back before we move on, back to Loki before we get done, because I mean they're setting I think they're setting up some good morsels and some good tidbits. I'm actually happy with the way they're going with Loki and the QMG moving forward. Are you a little bit more hype? Are you actually invested in this story now, or are you still like meh?
I'm 100% meh. I am 1,167% meh on the story. I'm what is it? Loki. I don't know why I'm looking at the calendar. Like the calendar has the episode count for Loki, but if the Loki's episode count is 8, like I think it is, it might be less. Yeah, but if it's 8, then I'll be looking towards the halfway point to see if it does like what WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier did, and pick up and really add some substantial meat to the middle part. Yeah, but as it currently stands, no, I'm not. Excuse me, I'm not excited.
Well, I'm excited. I'm ready to see where they're gonna take Loki
and I want to clarify. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm not saying it's a bad show and then that you're not gonna be invested. What I'm saying is that it's not exciting. It's not exciting to me just yet. And Tom Hiddleston definitely doesn't carry. And a matter of fact, I'm gonna even add on.
Owen Wilson.
I'm gonna add on to it. Usually Tom Hiddleston's natural charisma doesn't do anything for me because I think people over exaggerate his natural charisma. But even with that said, I think the Loki fans will say and have said actually that his charisma was very lacking compared to his other performances as Loki. So that's my opinion on it, right? However,
like you said, like I was constantly keep saying, I think they did that on purpose to break down this facade that this Loki, because it's 2012 Loki, it's not the Loki who's went through all this Avenger stuff. This is the 2012 Loki, so they had to break down that Loki to build him back up. So
but I would argue that the 2012 Loki is the most charismatic Loki that we've seen. I say that
that Thor Ragnarok Loki was pretty turned.
No, he was the punchline, but I'm talking about as far as swag and charisma. Definitely Avengers, Thor: The Dark World. That's like peak Loki stuff. But that's
well, like I said, I think Thor: The Ragnarok Loki was pretty charismatic. But what I was saying was, I think to break him down, and like you brought up, if you feel like the 2012 Loki is the most charismatic, they had to break that down to build this Loki up in a new story that we've never seen before, especially having Loki see his life flash before his eyes somewhat. So I'm ready to see where they go. So I understand that argument that he might have not seemed as charismatic as normal, but I think that was intentional. So I'm ready to see where they go, because obviously Loki is going to get all that charisma back and more, because that's what he leans towards so much, knowing that he's going to try to change his past and change his future and just diverge. Because if we think about it, Loki is still inadvertently him, right? He's still, at the most part, the god of mischief. When he said, thinking, we've known Loki to be a little, like he said in Thor, I'm a little good and a little bad. So Loki has his own thoughts in his head. When he saw himself die, and he did that laugh and said he's looking at a change in his destiny or a change in his life, he could be thinking, all right, I'm just gonna bust all these timelines wide open. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows where his line ends, but if he changes it, he's gonna keep living. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think he's gonna change that whole timeline. I think he's gonna bust it wide open, and by the time Doctor Strange and Wanda fix it, I think it's gonna be a whole new convergence, a whole new that's where the Young Avengers and all that stuff is going to come from. But I guess we're going to find out. But everybody in the comments, let me know, are y'all excited to see where Loki goes next? Or y'all just like, it's all right, like QMG over here. It's a little bit of meh.
Yep.
But moving forward, can we just get a shout out for MCU? They've been coming with some good shows. I'm really ready to see what they do next. But QMG, we move on because E3 is at day 2. Today is day 2 of E3. And we're going to be talking about E3 a little bit. How you've been feeling about E3. I just want to know, how have you been feeling about E3? Has E3, before we get into the games that have been announced, has E3 really just made you feel like it's back in full form? Let me know something.
Well, I'm going to say this. Actually, I'm going to say my spiel now, and I'm going to let you have it. Because I ain't got too much to say about everything I didn't see, but I do have a lot to say about a couple of things I did see. So I'm just going to get this out the way now and just kind of react afterwards if my thoughts and opinions are needed. Elden Ring was, they finally put their trailer out Friday. I really hope that this game is what a lot of people want. Personally, you've seen one, you've seen them all. Personally, I still think the Bloodborne aesthetic is still the best of the Dark Souls aesthetic. That Demon Souls aesthetic that has come out in the past 6 years now. I'm sorry. Because Demon Souls came out in 2012. But, that whole era of games, I do think Bloodborne is still the aesthetically best. But,
Sekiro.
If you've seen, it's like I said, Bloodborne.
Sekiro.
But Elden Ring is definitely interesting. It has a nice. It continues the boss, the over the top, very unique boss designs, which is very much appreciated, and all of that. So, shout outs to that. Yeah, you already know I was going to go with that, Aaron. But yeah,
you've seen it all.
Aaron, I've been not Aaron. Elden Ring looked good.
I play that game. Aaron Ring, that's on fire.
Yeah, because if it involves that, Aaron, it definitely would. But other than that, can't tell you too much else that I remember from day one. Yeah, and that's kind of the gist of it all.
Yeah.
Then today, Microsoft did a lot of cool things.
We'll get into it because I got the graphic up. That's why I was saying go ahead.
No, because we don't need the graphic. Because
I want to put the graphic up, sir.
I mean, you can't. I mean, no, I was saying don't put the graphic up. I'm just saying for my sake. Because I know what I know what I'm about.
Hold on, let me get in there. My fault, y'all. I'm sorry, I forgot. Because here on Into the Q, I like how you putting the swag up. Look, I forgot. QMG got these shades, and now he OG. Now he Terminator T800. So I'm sorry. My fault. Let's give a round of applause for QMG. Let me zoom in on that boy. Swaggerific. Put your hand on your chin again. One more time. Just swaggerific it up. Woo! My fault, bro. What you was saying?
Wagwan Dad. What's up, Daddy?
What up?
Thank you for tuning in. But no, Microsoft has a lot of good stuff. Thank you for constantly messing with my chair.
I didn't mess with your chair.
Yeah, you did. There we go. That's why the shawty's in the streets. I got that big booty. But shout outs to the shawties out there in the streets. Microsoft came and went.
I can't deal with you, bro.
Microsoft came and went, and then today happened as well. Microsoft was today. I'm sorry. They showed Halo Infinite. It looked better than it did before, and I thought it looked good in the first place. They showed off they're doing multiplayer free to play. They're doing multiplayer free to play. And they also showed off Battlefield 2042, which it only took Battlefield 5 years to copy Call of Duty Black Ops 3's future stuff. So it is what it is. But it does look good. I see a lot of people talking about, they don't have a BR. What's up with that? Why don't they have a BR? I mean, Yeah, all they did announce all of this stuff. It's all right. It's all right. Nobody like it's all right. Redfall was really my only favorite non previously announced Microsoft game. Oh, and the Outer Worlds too, but they didn't really show too much about that. But then again, Redfall.
I just want to bring that up. I did try. I was like it's the Outer Worlds, and we were talking about it. And he was like, they already came out with that, but then they announced number 2. Woo!
Yeah, because they announced number 1 2 years ago. But
why are they doing number 2 so early then?
You mean the game a sequel to a game that came out 2 years ago?
2 years. Usually we get in 3-4 year life cycles.
If you don't know what you're doing. But no, Redfall.
So God of War don't know what they doing.
But Redfall looked good, and
but you can't just gloss over that. So yes, God of War don't know what they're doing.
Did I say that?
Yes, you just said if they take more than 2 years for a life cycle, they don't know what they're doing.
I mean, most of the time that's the case. And technically, God of War was going to come out. Technically, God of War didn't start development until probably 2019, and it was supposed to come out this year. So, but no, Forza always looks good, so I wasn't surprised by that. Yeah, Microsoft had a lot of games. That's good. I'm glad that they had a lot of games. And
what about Microsoft Flight Simulator?
That's people like it, and it's this again another obviously good-looking Microsoft game. But that's not where I want to focus on. What I want to focus on is Square Enix. What I want to focus on is a mother trucking Square Enix, and I will appreciate if you put the camera.
I'm getting ready to, sir. I got you. Godly.
What I would like if you would put the camera right on my.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you swaggerific.
Can you zoom in as much as possible on my face?
I got you. Soon, much as I can, bro. It's on you. That's as far as I can go.
Okay. So Square Enix, you really tried it. You really fucking tried it this year. You didn't. It's one thing that you didn't talk about Final Fantasy Remake Part 2 because yes. No one would expect you talking about it. All you've said so far is that it is going smoothly, and that's good. Even though I would have preferred you said that on the presentation.
Talking about Part 2 Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you didn't show anything from Tomb Raider, even though it's its 25th anniversary, or anything from from your new James Bond game that you are in development on, which probably is in early development. I get that. But to not show anything from Final Fantasy 16, which is supposed to come out this year, or Forspoken, a game that has gameplay that's available to be shown and all of that other stuff, and to relegate your other new Final Fantasy
which game, is looking like it's going to be great,
which demo is out today and is only going to be available until the 24th.
Oh yeah, I gotta play that.
Which is it's 2 Thursdays from now, so it's definitely like they definitely want you to play that, but to relegate that to a little snippet at the end and not even touch on the demo aspect, yet waste our fucking time with that mid to garbage looking Guardians of the Galaxy game that you stealth announced comes out later this year after. And you know what? Let me take it back. Let me take a step back. Let me take a step back. Not because I'm angry, not because of that, but because I want to direct it at the correct individuals. And it's not Square Enix, because personally speaking, if you look at it, you know that Square Enix has done a great job with the games of like Hitman and Final Fantasy 7 Remake, as well as Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, and a bunch in their other games that I failed to mention are under my radar. I get that, but it's not Square Enix's fault. It's Marvel Games' fault.
Oh,
and it's a little bit of Square's fault for allowing themselves to fall into this trap, because the audacity, the impetus, the unmitigated gall of Marvel Games to, after the horrendous launch of Avengers, that they still haven't fully correctly fixed, and literally a couple of weeks ago, last week actually, it dipped down to 0 players playing it across the board. Zero, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that there is an active player revolt for the game across all platforms that it's available on, despite the fact that the updates and the contents they have released have been lackluster and subpar. The fact that you can like the single player all you want to, but that does not make up for the fact that the actual actual content that the developers want you to focus on is completely below standard.
The Maestro,
like it's completely below standard. And yes, it's free, but the simple fact that they were going to charge you for it, and the only reason why they made it free was because of how badly they screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
And then the fact that the current content that they keep pushing out is not substantial. It's not enough to keep players engaged. Obviously, it's buggy as all hell. It's not engaging to experience, even with the full friend loadout or what have you. It's audacious. And the simple fact that they announced Guardians of the Galaxy this late, with no previous indication this game was even a thing, and then to say it's coming out this year while locking in the only playable character to be one of the most blandest characters. Somebody on Twitter, the Jerkster, put it perfectly. Basically, being able to play only play Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy is the equivalent of playing a Shawn Michaels video game, but you can only play as Marty Jannetty. That is basically what I'm given with this. And
hold on, let's wait. So people are really since Star-Lord is the only character playable at launch, people are like highly upset.
Yes, because why would you just...
But you just compare Star-Lord to Marty Jannetty and not Shawn Michaels when Star-Lord is the most popular character.
No, right? Star-Lord is the popular character for middle-aged white dudes who don't have any substantial skill sets and like dad rock. That is who Star-Lord is. And that's literally by design, because that's what James Gunn wanted, because James Gunn is all of that thing.
Well, and Chris Pratt wasn't a bad Star-Lord, though.
Chris Pratt was a middle-aged white dude
who has no...
So that's my... So go ahead and cap for Star-Lord and Chris Pratt.
So... Hold on.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Divine Figure. Appreciate it. For everybody that, quick sidebar, for everybody that's just tuning in, if you're tuning in on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and go give us some subscribe on YouTube. It'd be much appreciated. So we can keep bringing you guys great content.
And if you're definitely watching on YouTube, make sure you like and leave a regular comment in our comment section after the live. Yeah. So YouTube can pick it up on the algorithm and then make the suggested videos. We'll be adding a thumbnail to the video.
But and all the people that's on Facebook as well, and all the geeks and gamers out there, y'all get a round of applause, man.
Yes, if you're watching on Facebook, please share. Please like and share on Facebook as well.
Definitely, because without y'all, we wouldn't be doing this, man. We really appreciate y'all. Thank you so very much. But yeah, so you just compared Star-Lord. First of all, what about John McClane? He was a middle-aged white man.
But John McClane was not just a middle-aged white dude. He was a fully functioning regular human being who just happened to be a middle-aged white dude. There was nothing mediocre about John McClane. He had the sharp frame of mind.
Somebody can be a main character that's a middle-aged white guy that might not be all there together.
It's not about if they can't, it's if they're a good main character. And Star-Lord is not a good main character. But that's neither here nor...
Whoa! See, now you just coming... Whoa! Why you just coming all crazy as Star-Lord like that? I'm talking about you. I ain't talking about the comments.
I mean, because it's the truth. I'm just speaking the truth. And it speaks to my larger point, because Star-Lord is not my larger point. My larger point is that Guardians of the Galaxy looks ass.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't.
The Guardians of the Galaxy, my major overarching point is that it looks ass.
That's fact.
It shouldn't have been coming out this year, even if it is ready, which if it's as I've said multiple times on the show, if it's Marvel games exclusively and there's no Insomniac games or there is no other studio involved that has some retention of movie rights to these characters, Marvel games will always half-ass their end and make the overall product look bad. Marvel Infinite, Avengers, and from what I've seen, Guardians of the Galaxy.
So do you think it's going to be as bad as Marvel's Avengers or worse?
I think that, it'll be a miracle if it's as bad as Marvel's Avengers, because Marvel's Avengers failed on two fronts, both on its single player and its multiplayer content. And they say, Guardians of the Galaxy is single player only, and you can unlock everything in the game. But
you knew they were going to do that. I'm not even surprised if they had the same template for Guardians of the Galaxy as they did for Marvel's Avengers, but because of Marvel Avengers flop, they just scrapped that and made it.
Well, allegedly, they always planned Guardians of the Galaxy to be a single player focus before Avengers came out, but that definitely, like you said, it sounds good because the
Guardians of the Galaxy is another team.
They're a team.
Yeah, so
at the very least, making it you can switch between characters, which again, team, you might as well make it multiplayer at that point. Yep. Only few games I know that don't necessarily have that, and that's like Final Fantasy 7 remake in Final Fantasy 15, but even then they let you manually switch over
Nick,
to
appreciate you tuning in, bro.
Thank you. They let you manually switch over to the characters, and even though you're not like in the combat moments, you're controlling, you're moving around with Cloud and Tifa and Barret are following you. When you go to combat, you can switch to Barret or switch to Tifa.
I swear, if Marvel's Avengers had that type of combat, it'll be lit.
But it doesn't, because Marvel games,
like if you could do that in the single player mode, like you could still have your friends play with you, but if in the single player mode they had that style combat where you could switch freely between Avengers,
but they don't, because Marvel games only cares about just putting their names on something and just tossing it out there. The simple fact, and this is just really, and y'all know, and I've spoken about this before, so y'all already know how I feel about it. But the simple fact that they didn't even have the God-given sense to delay this game until after the fandom of Marvel's Avengers has the time to fully see if it finally landed, or at the very least picked themselves up and started to get the feeling back in their legs after the crash landing they had at the beginning. The fact that they say this game is coming out in October of this year with a concrete release date, and again, we didn't have no teasers in the past two.
Oh yeah, this was slickly out of nowhere.
Like I only heard one leak,
and that's crazy. That's what I was asking for from E3, and out of all the games to do that
one from the people who screwed up the last major Marvel video
that's
game.
That's crazy, bro.
even though technically Eidos Montreal, they did not do Marvel's Avengers. That's Crystal Dynamics.
First, how do you say that? Is it Eidos or is it Eidos or Eidos?
It's Eidos.
Eidos?
It's Eidos Montreal.
Because E and I thought that makes the I noise.
But that's new. But if the studio calls it Eidos, it's
facts. That's facts.
But
so is it Ubisoft or Ubisoft?
You already know it's Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
No, it's if every if it's the European creators of the company calls it Ubisoft. It's
Ubisoft. Still gonna say Ubi.
Anywho, this game. Anywho, this, in long story short, I do not trust any Marvel game that does not have Insomniac.
Capcom behind.
No, because we saw what they did with that Marvel
true.
Infinite. I do not trust any Marvel games production that does not have Insomniac damn near 100% steering the direction of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Marvel games can try to stonewall and just half-ass it. And the simple fact that we saw there was no indication that this game was being made. I'll tell you, it was 2 weeks ago that I first saw.
Well, that's partly due to the flop of Marvel. They didn't want to go straight back into it. That they kind of had to do it that way.
But own up, no, because I'm not finna let that ride. Own up to that's what video game consumer. That's what we the players want. We want people, these studios, figureheads, to own up to their failure, so we know that they won't make it again. When you basically hide your next AAA Marvel game and then just say, not even, because there's one thing if they say, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy comes out in 2022 at an undisclosed time. That's one thing, and this is the first time we hear about it.
Yeah.
But to say that this major AAA game is coming out this year, it's meaning that it's virtually almost done, because for those who don't know, if they have a locked in release date that's in the same calendar year, that means that it's close to about 60. It's close to about 60 and 70% done. All they got to do, depending on what type of game it is probably do a demo or open beta to, wrinkle out some bugs. But what is it, June? By August, it's going to be gold. Which means it is done, and they just have to go, wrap up some little touches and then ship it out.
Well, on another note, did you ever feel like is there anything in you that, because we know QMG is not a fan of the representation of the MCU version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and you're knowing that this game is going to take heavily from that style of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So is there anything, because I'm more of a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy in this iteration than you are. I like all the characters, but is there anything for you that you could see in this, maybe a silver lining, or is this just trash the whole game already?
The only saving grace, and this is only if I misread it or misunderstood it, is that Dan Abnett and
keep going.
That's just pointing at some. Dan Abnett is one of the chief writers of the best the Guardians run that basically put them on the radar to have a movie being made. Mm-hmm. He's involved with the storytelling process. But then again, Marvel games has a history of that not really being a really shining through. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and a bunch of other games had writers on their own hand to help and basically didn't make a difference because it still felt narratively different. But no, this if this doesn't,
you're not hype about it.
This I'm not hype about it. I don't care about the choice. I don't care about the choice in this, like, cause it looks very shallow, and it's like it's only these type of games that's developed like this. It's only going to be objectively bad one, objectively good one. It's like you're only going to get two endings: the objectively bad ending and the objectively good ending. Nothing. It's not going to be Mass Effect level of choice and branching out. And that's me just casting aspersions on it. Like I don't like. I'm not going to sit here and claim I know for a fact, but I am going to sit here and say that just the simple fact that they dropped it on me out of nowhere, like that leads me to not be too on the up and up. Like,
yeah, I definitely wanted to speak on it a little bit because I'm agreeing with you. It's definitely a lot of stuff. Excuse me, a lot of stuff shrouded because they dropped it at the last minute. Everybody, are you in the comments? Let us know. Are y'all excited about the Star-Lord Star-Lord game? I'm gonna call it that. That's
dang, you might as well call it the Star-Lord game.
It's not Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just Star-Lord. He's gonna be walking around the ship talking to the Guardian. But the Star-Lord game is looking like it's not gonna be good. Don't even get me started because I'm definitely a person who gets behind memes and stuff. And those graphics with Star, it's not looking up to par. And we've seen this before because one of my favorite memes was Gorilla George coming from Halo Infinite. If y'all remember that, Gorilla, I'm going to get that picture for next week. But yeah, so I really think that they're trying to keep it under wraps. And I've so wholeheartedly believe that they completely changed up how the game was going to be played due to the flop of Marvel. I'm thinking those two games were going to go into tandem with each other and possibly could have came out the third game.
I'm so glad you brought that up because quick aside, I'm gonna keep let you going. This is not tied into Marvel's Avengers at all.
You don't think so? It's not.
They officially said that.
Yeah, it's not. But I'm thinking like if you would go like if it did good.
They already with this type of stuff they have that set in stone because they already have, and plus some
and Square Enix and Eidos made both of them.
No, it's Crystal Dynamics.
Oh yeah, Crystal Dynamics.
So,
I'm sorry, yeah.
So
okay, but I don't think that it would have been a different type of style of game. What is the genre that they're saying it is now?
No, it's still an action RPG type game. So that's the umbrella that it's under because it has a level up system and it has different moves you can do. So that's what it's under. So,
but on another note, because I definitely wanted to talk about some of these games, I didn't get really a chance to talk about some of these games, and just looking through them, some of these games, I'm really a fan of these funny, goofy games. What is it? Gangbusters or something. I don't want to mess up.
I'm talking about Party Animals.
Yes, it's from the same. It's like the same style as Gangbusters or something.
Gang Beasts.
Gang Beasts. Yeah, Gang Beasts. And I really like those funny, cheesy games. I thought that was really cool.
Yes, Party Animals look awesome.
Now, the only thing I had a problem with was E3, and you asked me if you felt this way too. We have some weird thing going on right now in this era, and it's feeling like it's just post-apocalyptic space. Like every game is either post-apocalyptic or space. Like,
well, I'll say this because of the last 4 years of a lot of people's lives and the last year and a half of what people went through. It's not lost. It's not like I'm not surprised that they took that route with things. I'm not because it's covering your face.
No, I was just gonna change the camera.
With it's post-apocalyptic. It doesn't surprise me that a lot of game developers are taking a post-apocalyptic route because it feels like we're post-apocalyptic in a lot of ways. So it doesn't surprise me. Where I actually thought you were going to go with it, and I'm going to toss it back to you, was the staggering amount of CGI only trailers for video games.
Well, the whole E3 this year seemed kind of stale with that in mind. We didn't really get a lot of gameplay. Now, some of these indies that I not gonna say was like super excited for, but kind of liked, seemed like we had a lot of gameplay for it. The one that stuck out to me was Replaced. That's cyberpunk aesthetic-esque.
Now I got a little bit I got a little bit weary because that game looked like that one game made by that one dude who hates the LGBT and black people and all the other minorities.
Bro, if it's not him though, but you can't put that on. I
gotta do my research. I mean, I gotta do my research because that dude, because these type of white dudes will try to slither back into
you can't put that on another person though.
I'm gonna look into it. I'm not declaratively saying that's him and that you shouldn't support it, but I'm definitely gonna do my research because white dudes is good at slithering back into spots after walking into it with a KKK hood on and shit like that. So you already know. But
what is life?
But keep going, dog.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. We got all right. The game that I was most excited about that we actually saw from E3 last year, I believe, was 12 minutes. Or was that the Game Awards?
That was the Game Awards, and yes,
12 minutes is probably the game I'm most psyched. And we learned that Emilia Clarke and John McAvoy are actually playing the two main characters. Daisy Ridley, yeah. Why do I get them mixed up? They look alike. But Daisy Ridley and John McAvoy are voicing the two main characters. For people who don't know, 12 minutes is another game that's coming out, top down. What is it? A mind-bending time loop thriller where you're trying to find out how to break out of this time loop, and it's 12 minutes real time. Every run you do is a real 12 minutes before you get shot by somebody. So I think that's going to be cool. That's the game I'm really looking forward to. Some of these, I'm not even going to talk about the PC game. We'll probably talk about that next week, but there was nothing at all besides Replaced and maybe Atomic Heart that I was just like, oh my god.
I like Stalker 2 from Microsoft. Like
Metro Last Light.
No, this Stalker 2
Metro 2.
Stalker 2 looks more actiony because Metro is very much survival-y and making sure. And I could be wrong because it is a sequel to a game that I didn't play the first one to. But I know what was the one where they had the anomalies where you could throw the little things and a bubble was coming up? I think that might have been Stalker.
It was Stalker. No, it was they announced it today at the game show. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Stalker 2.
It's Stalker 2. Okay, it's Stalker. Had the little reader out
and he threw it and then
okay, that looks pretty cool. The graphics on it looked crazy.
Yes.
So yeah, it looked pretty good. But any Chernobyl, they had Chernobyl Light was announced. So any Chernobyl type game is gonna look good with that brown and grungy, muddy look. They usually look pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, with that being said,
the Ascent. What about the Ascent? That twin shooter, where it's like a team you could play, like me and you could play. It's a twin shooter, but it's top down and a steampunk aesthetic.
Oh yeah, I saw that yesterday on the Devolver Digital jump off. Yeah, that looked good. That looked pretty good. I will also say this, and then I'm gonna toss Steve for the final words on it. With E3, E3 day 1 and 2, not too much stuff, but I kind of figured I was hoping Microsoft could have blew my face off a little bit better than it did.
Oh, Halo multiplayer actually has a story now with the new Master Chief Initiative. So did you didn't get a chance to see it?
I mean, I picked up on it. I just figured that it probably was like an opening cutscene for when you start.
It actually has a story mode now. They're starting that the Spartan Initiative back up. They're making new Spartans.
I will say this: I'm liking what I'm seeing from Halo. As a person who has no hands up, don't shoot, no inclination of what the Halo competitive aspect is supposed to look like, and it's been years since I've actually played any Halo online. I gotta say, it looks fun. It looks fun. I have no clue.
They got grappling hooks now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Call of Duty Black Ops did that 4 years ago, but it's awesome. But yeah, day 1 and day 2 didn't really do too much for me.
And I definitely agree. Day 1 and day 2 were very lackluster. Like I said, there was nothing that blew me away. There was nothing. I was like, what? Oh man. There was nothing, not one game that took my breath away.
Take my breath away.
But yeah, there was. So needless to say, right now for my hype for E3, like how I'm sitting, I'm like at a 3. There was nothing major and then I'm not the PC game show. They had this little.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. They had this little like show going on within it, like a story arc between the people who were announcing all the games and stuff. And at the end of the story arc, when the robot took over the world, somebody's gonna say something that's a slap in the face to every game in the world. No, don't blow up the world because they might, Valve might announce Half-Life 3 tomorrow. Bruh, you don't play about no Half-Life 3 reveal. You know how long we've been waiting for Half-Life 3?
I mean,
you don't play with Half-Life 3 like that. So just to say that they're making jokes about things we want and adding too much dialogue in, and there's a lack of real gameplay. Like all the indie games. Now, okay, there was one thing that kind of took me for a loop, but I thought it was cool. New Blood, the New Blood gaming designers, they got like a whole slew of Steam games that are like based back in the day, like have Doom aesthetic,
2D shoot 'em ups, first person shooters,
first person and third person. Then they have like some type of thrillers, like with the wireframe aesthetic. They have a lot of games that look pretty cool, and I would definitely love to stream some of those. But as far as blockbuster AAA titles,
Among Us getting 15 players this next month, and that's dope.
Bro, I just need to get my date for when it drops on Xbox and PlayStation. That's what I'm waiting on. When are we getting a date for that?
Mind you, he has it on his computer
and my phone, but I want to play it on PlayStation with my voice chat. Anyway, a Plague Tale did get a number 2. That game won a lot of awards when it first came out.
I didn't even know Plague Tale existed. And if I did, I probably
didn't. The one with the sister and brother and the rats. The Rat King.
That was one of the things I was just like, oh, this is going to make people happy, I think.
Yeah, no, but the Plague Tale, a lot of people liked the Plague Tale when it first came out. But yeah, that's getting a sequel, the Plague Tale Requiem. For Forza Horizon looks really good. Forza Horizon 5 looks really good, but you know you're gonna get high graphic fidelity with these racing games. They're gonna put all of it into those cars. So yeah, it's gonna look good. The Outer Worlds 2, like I said, I thought the Outer Worlds was supposed to come out, but Outer Worlds, I knew it already had been out, but I was thinking of another game. I think it was Starfield. Yeah, that's the game I was thinking of, and they announced that. No gameplay once again, but
yeah, it's all like it's at this rate, you know. I'm not saying I'm not gonna give E3 a 4 because they did it, like Microsoft did show a plethora of games, and that will always boost it a couple of points.
How many did it blow you away? How many do you honestly think you're gonna get and play?
Well, technically 0 since I don't own an Xbox,
which we're gonna get one. But
in all seriousness, for me personally, I always appreciate the effort of showing tangible games, even if I don't have either the console or an inclination to play it.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that, and the breadth of games that legitimately look interesting on an objective, you know, unbiased perspective.
Yeah.
Definitely helps out a lot in its case. So, you know, personally,
Benito, what's up? Appreciate you for tuning in.
What's up? Personally speaking, I think that is the best. That's the best way to I feel like that's why E3 so far is like at a 5 or 6 for me.
Even though we've had rated E3s lower because of the lack of gameplay in these trailers,
I'll say this: it definitely balanced it out with Microsoft. They definitely had enough gameplay footage to go with their CGI footage, and I'm just gonna be honest, the CGI stuff did look very good. It didn't look half-assed, which if it did, then I would have had a problem with, or if it looked so out of with this next gen. One of the benefits of next gen is that the CGI trailers match up with the gameplay a lot better than it did in previous generations. So that's why. So right now I'm not putting out about some of the all CGI or only CGI stuff, but overall 6 out of 10 so far. Guardians of the Galaxy, its whole existence definitely made this easy decision to keep, because boy, oh boy, you were asleep and I was laughing my ass off when I saw Guardians of the Galaxy tangibly be the first thing they talk about. And then when I saw it had a concrete release date, I was just laughing my ass off, because it's just so ridiculous that they think people would fall for this again, and people will fall for it. And
appreciate everybody that's messing with the Rocket Power shirt. I appreciate everybody that's messing with the Rocket Power shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's
my final thoughts.
I can't be too excited about E3. There was nothing, and really, indies have been sleepers, and they've come through multiple conventions and press conferences and done really well, but we don't really go to the convention for indies. We go for the big AAA juggernauts that's coming out of nowhere that's going to blow our socks off. And there has been nothing that blew my socks off.
I mean, you already know how I feel about that. Just go back and watch our video when we talked about the PS5 announcement. Just the amount of indie game. It was an ass load of indie games, bro. When you're trying to sell your brand new $500 console in a pandemic. But I digress.
People are raving Ratchet and Clank, though. To go back to the episode, our episode on Into the Quniverse last week, me and Kumani QMG had a discussion about Ratchet and Clank, and he was stating that he didn't think it was going to do that well, and a lot of people are raving about that game and how well it runs on the PS5 and look. So we gonna see, bro. It's looking like people finna get on that Ratchet and Clank.
Oh my god!
So people ain't messing with Ratchet and Clank.
Look, I don't throw this word around too often,
yeah,
because of how insincere I can sound if I say it, because I don't say it often. But that shit sound like some cap. Like, it sounds like some cap. Like, am I saying it's a bad game? No. Am I saying that a lot of people want to enjoy it? No. But am I saying that it's a game of the year?
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
No, that's what a lot of people are trying to pass off.
Oh, I'm just saying that we had a discussion and you were saying that you didn't think that it was going to go over as well as it's been going over.
Critics can like it, but we'll see what them sales and general public reviews say it, because that's what makes it. That's what validates these opinions. I don't care with Duty McSwag Bro on Twitch with
hold on, say that name again.
Duty McSwag Bro on Twitch with over 600,000 subs and 1 million followers thinks about the PS5's Ratchet and Clank. I'm talking about your Joe Six Packs.
Woo! Joe Six Pack
and your Dwayne braids just sitting here. And what do they think about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart?
Are you gonna, if it becomes a way for you to play it, are you gonna actually try it out and see what it's like? Give it a chance?
No, because I'm not deleting Final Fantasy VII Remake to make space for that game. So
ain't you the one just told me all you gotta do is switch it between?
I'm not going to do that.
I actually have to play it on a 5 because you were saying it looks really good. I want to see how much better it looks. But yeah, so E3. Let us know in the comments. All the geeks and gamers is tuning in. If y'all seen E3 and been watching E3, let us know. Have y'all been enjoying it? Has it been really making y'all feel like this is the new age of gaming?
Please don't let me down Tuesday, Nintendo. I'm waking up early in the morning, 7 o'clock, and I'm streaming on the MD Gaming Twitch channel.
You know who the next character gonna be? A rabbit.
You know what? Like, not talking about the content of the characters, but I am suspecting that they'll do like they did the last time they announced DLC characters at an E3.
Yeah,
and they're going to announce 2, because if you remember back in 2019, they announced Banjo and Hero.
Fortnite no skin. I'm calling it. It's the Fortnite no skin.
Jonesy
guy.
The first.
Yes, first Jonesy. Fortnite Jonesy with the green, the army skin is gonna be him. Watch. First Jonesy. I'm calling.
We already know Sakurai. We already know if a studio throws enough money at Nintendo lets them. Yes, Sakurai. We're sorry. We know you have a creative idea for a character,
but we want you to put Jonesy in the game.
Like that's like, just for any Smash Bros. Fans out there, if a Jonesy or another character that seems outlandish shows up for the game, please know that Sakurai is probably in the same position, feels the same way you do, but Nintendo probably like just strong armed.
Well, we know that because when he talked about Minecraft Steve, he was like, I didn't want to put Minecraft Steve in here, but then some people,
but a Nintendo executive peered over their glass and says, "Hey, surely you can put him in there." Yes. So yeah, we already know Sakurai sometimes doesn't have too much control, but in any case, Q, do you have any things you want to shout out to, and then I'll shout out?
I just want to give a shout out to all the geeks and gamers out there. We really appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's always great to have y'all come in and give your comments and give your 2 cents, because without y'all, it wouldn't be no Into the Quniverse. And for all the people that's tuning in, if y'all can go to Into the Quniverse on YouTube and give us a subscribe, it will be much appreciated. For all my people who haven't subscribed, thank y'all. And for all the people who have subscribed, y'all got a 1-up. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. And I just want to say tomorrow, y'all tune in, because we're going to be talking about some more Loki, some more E3, some more video games, some more Dragon Ball, everything on Keep It G, where every week me and my crew, Danita and D-Man, keep our eyes and ears to the streets for everything geek. So y'all stay tuned for that. 7:40 Central on Mondays. Stay tuned to watch for that. QMG.
Yes, and as I previously said, you can find me on Mold Diversity Gaming, MD Gaming for short, on our Twitch channel this Tuesday morning, early ass morning, reacting to the Nintendo Direct Treehouse. I am expecting 100% Breath of the Wild 2 stuff.
I hope.
Skyward Sword stuff as well.
Age of Arceus. I want to see some stuff from that.
I'm not getting too crazy with the Pokemon stuff because Pokemon typically skips E3. The significant E3s they really haven't done are significant E3 since I want to say when Sun and Moon came out. Everything else has been relegated to their Pokemon.
You don't think they even gonna have anything for Ruby and Sapphire, even though they're coming out pretty soon?
Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, Diamond and Pearl remake.
No, because they just very recently, like a month and a half ago, did something about with both of those games. So that's why I'm kind of like not really expecting that. I'm thinking that those things will be saved for a Pokemon Direct sometime in the fall, because that's normally how Nintendo structures it. But I'm definitely anticipating Breath of the Wild 2. Definitely anticipating at least one of the 2 DLC fighters for Smash being announced. Maybe something on Metroid Prime 4, Bayonetta 3. I'm not saying both.
Bro, we've been waiting on this Bayonetta 3 shit for so
I've been waiting. It's been
83
years for me. Definitely something on Bravely Default 2, because that has not missed a Nintendo Direct since it's been announced.
That new Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yes, I do expect that to be talked about as well.
Another Fire Emblem. No, we got to talk about. They gonna have something.
I'll be surprised if they do another Fire Emblem this soon. But then again,
I'm talking about DLC. I'm not talking about specifically.
Oh no, if they do a Fire Emblem, it'll be a full game. But then again, I just reminded myself, every time you say that about Nintendo, they do just that. So who knows? Basically, what I'm saying is the only thing I know for a fact will show up is Breath of the Wild 2 and Smash DLC. Everything else is a fucking toss up. Who knows? I hope it's hype as hell. Who knows? But in any case, and also catch me Wednesdays on Mold Diversity live streams and doing cool stuff. My new series, Q Rants on Mold Diversity, where you know what I do. You already know what I do. I rant about stuff I don't like. The first episode.
We know about that.
We know the first episode just dropped. Me and Aaron, shout out to him. We collaborated on the first episode talking about Shadow in the Clouds. Don't watch it. It's on Hulu. Don't watch it. It sucks. But we will episode 2 will be coming fairly soon, where me and Aaron will be tag teaming it up again. We may be bringing some more people along. No, because you haven't seen the movie. You haven't seen the movie. But we'll be talking about little things. So yeah.
And with that being said, this was a great episode. Y'all already know this was Keep It G, where every week
what?
Dang. This ain't Keep It G, is it?
No.
This is Into the Quniverse, and I'm Q.
And I am QMG.
And you already know we GQ smooth, always on our P's and Q's. You already know how we do. Thank y'all for tuning in. Where my music at, man? Play my stuff. Oh, I had to turn down. My fault.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
It's not.
Yes, I did, ball. See, you got to turn up. You already know. Thank y'all for tuning in. This was a great episode. Y'all already know we got to turn up out before we get on up out of here. We're going to be back next week with another great episode. So y'all stay tuned. Go back and watch it. Have your friends watch it. Have your family watch it. All my geeks and gamers out there. We already finna turn up. Let's go.
Peace.
Peace.